What we're gonna do, these are the lock neck body turns done with a kettlebell, and the way we're gonna do this is we're gonna use a crush grip. The reason why I like the crush grip, we're gonna grab by basically the ball of the kettlebell, set the shoulders down, pull the chest out. So now you're posturally in a really good position to also help support aligning the neck. So from here, your feet are gonna be fixed, little bend in the knees, lengthen through the crown of the head. Now what we're gonna focus on is rotating just the trunk and the torso to one side, to the opposite side, trying to maintain the positioning of the neck. Now this is going to be a little bit more strict. This is going to be more trunk and core. If we want to add a little bit more, we can also add a pivot, pivot the outside foot, pivot the outside foot, still trying to maintain the chest out, shoulders down, neck glided back, lengthening through the spine. Then walk it back, switch the grip, and then you just squat and set that bell down. So for this 360 using the kettlebell, we're gonna use a bottoms up grip position. So it's gonna require a lot more grip stability, a lot of form, also a lot of shoulder, and now with the iron neck, a lot of upper quarter stability in the head and neck. So I'm gonna clean it up. Now I'm gonna keep it fairly low, but you can also work in different positions here and work different angles of the shoulder. So from this position, I'm gonna walk out, posture up, stabilize the head and neck. Now, once I got some tension on the band, then nice and steady. Woo, gotta dip under that band. This is like requiring a tremendous amount of focus. If I wanna go the other way, and then to finish up, walk it back and just squat it down. Whew. What we're gonna go through is a few different lunge variations, and the grip we're gonna utilize with the kettlebell is just gonna be a very simple grip. It's probably the most user-friendly grip, and it's a crush grip. So clean the bell up, grab by the sides. From here, set the shoulders down, chest is up. So now initially we're gonna just work into a forward lunge, and then I'm gonna talk about briefly the differences in the different lunge patterns and if we switch directions. So from here, I've got the head and neck in a good position. I'm gonna step out nice and far, lunge down, return to the start. Now I can also do another movement, let's say like a curtsy lunge, or even a side lunge. Now, if I wanted to face this way, you can see the direction of force is different. When I was pulling here, it was pulling more on the front side of the body. So everything on the anterior, the front line of the body, the front of the neck, the abs, everything was more engaged. Now, I've got this sideways force. So for example, if I were to try and step, let's say into a curtsy and go more into the resistance, I've really got to stabilize that side of the neck. Now if I wanted to face back here, now the whole posterior chain, so now the back of the neck, my upper back, middle back, lower back is working. So let's say for this type of lunge, if I wanted to move into the resistance, I'd step back, control it down, and then return to the start. Now I could also do, if I wanted to work multi-directional lunges, step into a side lunge and come back. No matter what lunge variation I'm trying to do, the idea with the iron neck is just to maintain that head and neck position, and basically I'm moving my body but still trying to keep good alignment. So I felt engagement, the front, the side, the back, and then I also had that added resistance of the kettlebell too, which was challenging to manage. All right, so for the goblet squat, we'll clean the bell up into the goblet position. Walk it forward, make sure the shoulders are set down and back, bring the chest out, glide the head and neck. And now from here, since I'm facing forward, the band and the resistance is pulling me back, so I'm feeling it mainly in the front of the neck. Now also as I squat down, the angle of the band changes, so the angle of the resistance slightly changes as well. If I squat from the side, I'm gonna feel the side of the neck, and right now the resistance is in direct line to my head. But if I squat down, the angle of the band changes, so it's pulling me more up and back. I'm trying to fight that resistance to maintain the head and neck as I descend down. Now if I face backwards, I feel the back of the neck, and then you can see the angle of the band changes. And just to even it out, we'll face this way. All right, so for the around the world, what I'm gonna do is I'm grabbing the kettlebell, but I'm grabbing more towards the horn or the side of the bell. Grabbing more towards one side is gonna create space for my opposite hand to feed through. This one is a nice warm-up exercise. It can also be considered a pretty good core exercise as well, but a lot of times I use this for warming up. With the iron neck though, it becomes very much a conditioning and also a coordination exercise. So with the band pulling me back, I'm gonna be engaging the front side of the body. My feet are gonna be fairly close. I like to squeeze my butt, make sure my abs are nice and engaged. And now we're gonna swing and circle while we try and maintain the head, neck, and the entire posture. Now if we want, we can also change it up. We can face the side. Now I've got more of that lateral or side resistance. So even though I'm trying to maintain alignment above and rigidity, let's say above, I'm still keeping fluid, kind of my arms nice and fluid. If I face the back, we'll try the figure 8 real quick. Let's see. Yeah, that'll work. Whew. All right, so for the slingshot, basically we'll set it up with the figure 8. So I've got the kettlebell, I'm grabbing more towards one side to create space for my opposite hand to feed through. I'm gonna walk it forward, posture up, glide the head and neck back and lengthen to the crown of the head. Now from here, if I wanna set up the movement, my feet are just outside of shoulder width. And I'm figure 8ing the kettlebell through the legs. Now, if I want to add the slingshot to it, this is the figure 8 to stand actually. Now, so I'm learning how to change level, stabilize the spine, specifically the head and neck, as I'm working this coordination element of the lower body and the upper body with the bell. Also, as I'm squatting down, the angle of the band is changing, which is creating a slightly different line of resistance. I can do the same thing facing this direction. So now the band wants to pull me here. I've got to engage this side of my neck, this side of the body to align and stabilize. Whew. Restart. Oh, and that one, I couldn't really talk too much because I really had to focus. All right, so for this kettlebell Simba, so now we're gonna incorporate rotational movement, integrated upper and lower body exercise with the kettlebell and with the iron neck. So one of the setup differences is you'll notice that the anchor point is set lower than we were for other exercises, which was mainly in line with the iron neck. So we've dropped it down. You can see it's about kind of like the height of my waist. But you can play around with what feels best for you. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna basically get the kettlebell up, clean it to a goblet grip position. I'm gonna step out until I feel some tension on the band. Now from here, I'm gonna begin squatting, and I'm gonna pivot my outside foot. So I'm pivoting my left And right now, the band is pulling me to my right. So I'm gonna squat down, pivot my body. As I pivot, I look down towards the angle, come back up. It's almost like a wood chop, kind of. And what you can see is the angle of the band. I'm basically tracing that same line with the kettlebell. Oh. So that one I felt on the side of the neck, but also because of the direction of the band, the direction I was going, it was also kind of getting this direction that we might do in a more isolated fashion, but now with the kettlebell, pivoting, rotating, that was quite challenging.